Okay, so I'm a huge fan of transparent electronics. And growing up, I remember when I first saw the Game Boy Color release with the transparent purple. That was really amazing because you get to see all the inner components. Even till today, I still love to buy electronics that's see-through. It lets me see, the components and the engineering behind it. So what I would love to do with Byte 90 is make a transparent version of Byte 90. So you guys can see, the intentional design that I did with the inner frame. Okay, I think the only way to actually get, a good transparent print is to go with a resin printer, right? Now, the problem with resin printing is that it's toxic, but it's also expensive because you have to buy not just a printer, but materials, the washing station, and everything. So I actually reached out to PCBWay to sponsor this video, and they agreed to help me with some 3D printing to test out, their transparent resin printing. So I went onto the website, uploaded my 3D print files. It was actually really easy to do because all I had to do was just upload my STL files, and it also allowed me to kind of preview the 3D model here as well. So what's cool about this service is that not only can you pick the different types of materials, but they offer some really cool materials like titanium. That's insane. But I'm interested in transparent. The cool thing too is that they handle all the post-processing work that required to make resin transparent. And another thing I noticed too is that you could actually dye the clear resin with a black tint or whatever. But yeah, another feature I want to call is that you could actually silk screen or laser engrave onto your 3D print orders. I might have to try that out to brand like Byte 90 in the future. But anyways, so I added all my 3 files and it was easy enough to kind of just, go through all the settings and then click checkout. However, they do take the time to review your files in case there's any issues with like setting it up for 3D print. And while we wait for this to ship, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to use this transparent PETG here and see if I could print at least a translucent version myself. So I'll just slice it up and send it to the printer. So what I learned from printing with clear material is the harder you print, the more translucent it gets. I don't know about you guys, but I love the sound of, taking your parts off the hot plate. All right, so everything's fitted in place. Let's take a look at the results. So I mean, it's not looking bad, but it's not transparent. You know what I mean? It's more of like a milky, frosted look. It's nowhere similar to, the device I'm showing you. Actually, let's rewind this a bit because I actually tried a new setting with just a single wall. And you can see that it kind of got better. I mean, it's not that much better. But anyways, so my shipment has arrived and they actually shipped pretty fast actually. It took about a week to get my package. But once it arrived at my door, being Canadian though, you kind of have to watch out for those duties. Alright, so I'm just going to unbox the 3D prints here. Honestly, it's packed really well so things are secure and they're not going to break. But man, look at that. It looks freaking amazing. Like this is something you cannot get with FDM printing. So I want to show you the results, a close-up of the final print here. Like, I think it looks really amazing. I think the only issue I have, though, with this was, and it's mostly my issue, right? I don't know about much about resin printing. It has to do with the clearance, the tolerance, because I guess the material either shrunk or whatnot, because the button was really hard to fit in. Like it didn't fit at all actually. So I think I'm gonna have to print some additional buttons here to to make sure that it fits into the slot. So another thing too is that you really have to play around with the offset, especially for resin printing, I guess, because this back cover, even though it fits, it was really tight and hard to get in. Like I thought I was gonna break it trying to push it in really, but at the end it still fit and it still slide into place. So which is a huge relief because this is a part that I cannot reprint to get the same look and effect. The faceplate pops into place no problem, which is really good. Overall, you can see that it fits really nicely. Like everything was on point in my opinion. But yeah, shout outs to PCBWay. I mean, this print looks freaking amazing. Like I'm blown away at the results of like clear resin printing. I just wish I could do this, right? But I have to stick with FDM printing because resin printing is just too toxic. Like I can't do that in my small condo. I don't have enough ventilation and anything, but you can see here the results is like super clean. It's super transparent. It's really nice, and it really gives like a premium feel to it, if you know what I mean. So if you compare this to the FDM printed version, like it's a night and day difference. And yeah, if you're like me and you don't have access to like a resin printer or FDM printing, or just want to try out different materials, check out PCBWay for their 3D printing service. I think the results are really amazing, and the service was like quick and fast. I'm not gonna lie. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about the results of these transparent versions of Byte 90. I think I'm gonna release this very, very limited batch because I literally only have 4 of them. But if you notice, these two here have 2 different colors. One is like a retro orange vibe to it, and the other one is more of that classic retro green look to it. And it's a new feature that I've been working on. I've heard you guys in the comments. I figured out how to apply, the scan line effect, as well as giving you the option to change between, the standard white, a retro green, or a classic orange look and feel to the Byte 90. So I'm excited to announce this feature once I finish coding up the functionality, which will allow you to kind of toggle between these 3 different themes. So I think this is going to be amazing. So, I mean, subscribe, follow, and hit that like button to stay up to date. Thanks again for your support with Byte 90, everyone.